Today, we're actually boarding something like a time machine, and we're heading straight back to ancient Egypt
Right?
because we've been digging through some really fascinating sources, and they suggest that the ultimate secret to manifestation, the law of attraction,
Yeah, LOA.
it's not new at all. It seems like it's just, well, rediscovering this core organizing principle of Egyptian life.
I'd say it's even more than a rediscovery. It feels like a direct lineage, really. We're talking about Mott.
Ma'at.
Yeah, a concept so fundamental, it was basically the operating system for their entire civilization, going back thousands of years.
Okay, so Ma'at. It wasn't just like a list of rules or a code of conduct, though.
Oh, far, far more. She was personified as a goddess, yes, but Mott embodied universal order, truth, cosmic balance,
A whole structure?
the whole structure. Wow.
According to their myths, the world wasn't just created from nothing. It happened when chaos, which they called Isfet, was subdued.
And Mott took its place. If Mott failed, Isfet chaos would return. He would literally extinguish the sun and the world.
Okay, no pressure then. That sets the stakes incredibly high.
Absolutely.
So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack how the Egyptians, by following this huge cosmic law, essentially created a reliable manual for shaping their own reality.
Exactly. And one that feels strikingly familiar to people practicing LOA today.
We've kind of broken this down into three core mechanics, haven't we?
That's right. Three crucial energetic mechanics. If you get these, you really get the ancient wisdom of manifestation.
And they seem to map onto alignment, creation, and return, more or less. So can we look at the sources through those lenses?
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, how did the Egyptians achieve this internal balance? Which, we're kind of equating with modern alignment. We really have to start with probably the most powerful, the most enduring image they left us, right? The feather of Ma'at and the weighing of the heart.
Oh, absolutely. That scene in the Hall of Mott, it's everything.
It wasn't just some nice metaphor for being ethical, was it? It was like the final exam.
It literally was the final judgment,
Yeah.
the heart of the person who died, and they saw the heart as holding the record of all your emotional and moral deeds.
Everything you did, everything you felt.
Exactly. That heart was placed on the scales, weighed against the feather of truth, Mott's feather.
And if your heart was lighter than a feather,
You moved on to the blessed afterlife, but if it was heavy, weighed down by guilt, deceit, imbalance,
uh-oh.
it was consumed by the monster Emmet, devoured. Game over.
So a heavy heart literally tipped the scales towards chaos, towards Isfet. What exactly made a heart light then? Was it just being a good person in the simple sense, or was there an energetic piece too?
It was both, definitely. But that energetic component is absolutely key here. The goal was moral lightness, yes, but also personal equilibrium.
Okay.
The Egyptians believed this inner state instantly attuned your personal frequency to the universe.
So a heavy heart, like worry, regret, maybe holding on to grudges.
That created a dense sort of low vibration, and they believed it magnetized difficulty. A heavy heart attracts hardship. Simple as that.
And the flip side, a heart living in integrity, maybe gratitude, a light heart.
That attracted serendipity, ease, flow. It's amazing to think, 4,500 years ago, they'd already defined emotional integrity as the literal gatekeeper to success.
Exactly like we talk about maintaining a high vibration or a coherent state in LOA circles today.
That internal coherence, that flow,
Yeah.
that was mad in action for them. The sources are pretty clear. If you deviated from Matt's balance, your personal vibrational state would falter.
It's powerful, too, that this wasn't just advice for individuals. It was like national policy.
Totally.
The Pharaoh himself, as the ultimate embodiment of this law, he was seen as a kind of human tuning fork for Matt, wasn't he?
That's a great way to put it. By maintaining justice and balance in his own life and in the kingdom, he was thought to influence everything: the weather, the Nile flood, prosperity, military success.
Oh.
And that's really the link for you listening right now. Maybe you don't rule a kingdom, but you are the tuning fork for your own localized reality.
Your family, your home, your work.
Exactly. That same inner state the Pharaoh needed to keep the Nile flooding, that's the same kind of inner state you need to maintain for your personal projects, your abundance to flourish. Personal harmony directly influences outer reality.
Okay, so inner lightness, high frequency. That's step one. But how did the Egyptians then translate that high frequency into actual tangible outcomes? Where does the conscious creation process kick in?
Right. That begins with the second pillar, order and truth. This isn't just about, tidying your desk. It's about creating a kind of divine blueprint.
Yeah.
Recognizing that for something to manifest, it needs its rightful place in time, Within the fabric of reality, it needs order.
And this feels like where the famous Shabaka Stone concept comes in. That seems like their ancient manual for visualization and affirmation, the Trinity of creation.
That's exactly it. The text lays out how the god Ta created the world.
Yeah.
And it wasn't through brute force.
How them?
First, he conceived it intellectually in his heart. And for them, the heart meant thought, yes, but also deep feeling, emotion.
Okay, so feeling it real first.
Then he declared it with his tongue, the authoritative word, spoke it into being.
That's the direct thought-to-word mechanism of manifestation, isn't it? Clear as day.
And they didn't just leave it with the gods. They detailed the specific powers involved in the human ability to mimic this divine creation.
Ah, okay. So this is where those three key concepts come in, the ones every LOA practitioner basically uses today, even if they don't know the Egyptian terms.
Precisely. First, you have Sia. That translates roughly as perception or insight.
Seer.
It's the ability to see truth before it's visible. It's that deep visualization, the unwavering belief that the outcome already exists, even if you can't see it yet.
Got it. Modern visualization and belief. What's next?
Then there's Hu, the authoritative utterance. This is the power of the spoken word, declaring something as if it is already done, your classic potent affirmation.
Okay, Sia seeing it, who is speaking it? And the third?
And finally, Heka. This is often translated as magic, but it's more like the creative power, the activating force.
So Heka is the energy that actually makes it happen.
It's the force that moves reality after the heart has conceived it, Sia, and the tongue has spoken it, Kadishu. It's the momentum generated when thought and word align perfectly.
So Heka isn't just like waving a wand, it's the energetic execution.
Exactly. But here's maybe the biggest difference, or at least a crucial emphasis, compared to some modern LOA takes. The integrity filter that Ma'at imposes.
Ah, yes. This feels important.
Absolutely vital. If you're Heka, your spoken word, your affirmation isn't rooted in truth and integrity. Maybe you're declaring an outcome, but secretly it relies on deceiving someone, or it's purely selfish.
Yeah.
You're introducing Isfet, chaos. That tiny bit of misalignment, that lack of integrity, immediately makes the manifestation signal unstable. It can even self-destruct. Mate demands congruence, truth.
It's like the universe is checking your work, making sure it all adds up ethically.
You could say that.
Which leads us to this really fascinating practical instruction from the sources. The gesture of Malat.
Yes, this is so practical.
If your life feels chaotic, or you think your signal is fuzzy because of some inner isfet, some imbalance, you can restore order almost instantly. How?
By making one clean, ethical correction. The sources mention things as simple as physically straightening a sacred space in your home, like an altar.
Okay, bringing physical order.
Or finally repaying a debt, maybe one you'd forgotten or been putting off.
Right.
Or telling a specific truth you've been avoiding.
Wow, so a small, concrete act of rightness.
Exactly. That simple, tangible act is a gesture of Ma'at, and they believed it powerfully restores balance and strengthens your manifestation signal immediately, clears the static.
The ancient principle holds, feel it real, Sia, speak it as done, Hu, and reality aligns, Heka, but only if you maintain Ma'at's uncompromising level of truth and consistency.
And that leads us perfectly into the final principle, the one that ensures the whole system keeps working, long-term.
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity, okay. The Egyptians saw the cosmos as this grand, energetic mirror. Every single action has a cosmic echo. What goes out comes back.
This moves beyond just your inner feelings or what you say, right? This is about your external actions.
Absolutely. What you physically put into the system, the universe returns to you. It's the ultimate like attracts like, but grounded in action.
And this wasn't just like philosophical advice. They codified it.
They absolutely did. The most stunning evidence is in the 42 negative confessions. You find these in the Book of the Dead.
Right. I've heard of those. They weren't sins they committed, were they?
No, exactly the opposite. They were avowals, declarations recited by the deceased in the Hall of Ma'at to prove what they had not done in life that would violate reciprocity.
So things like the obvious, I have not stolen, I have not lied.
Yes, but also much more nuanced things, showing a deep understanding of energetic balance. Things like, I have not made anyone weep. Or, I have not exploited the vulnerable. I have not been deaf to words of truth. They had to prove they maintained flow and cosmic balance in their dealings with others.
Essentially showing their spiritual ledger was clean, that they hadn't disrupted Ma'at.
And that earned them passage to the afterlife. It showed they understood and lived by reciprocity.
So this spiritual accounting was deeply tied into their pursuit of abundance and well-being in this life, too.
Definitely. The generosity principle is a perfect example of how they deliberately initiated reciprocity.
How did that work?
Mott taught that generosity actually expands your capacity to receive. So performing an offering ritual wasn't just symbolic, or, and this is crucial, donating or giving, even when you felt financially tight.
That sounds counterintuitive to some today.
But it was seen as an incredibly powerful signal to the universe. It said, I trust there is more. I believe in abundance. I am in flow.
So those acts weren't just rituals people went through, they were genuine expressions of living in the vibration of abundance no matter what your current bank balance looked like.
Precisely. And it applies to everything. If you desire more love and respect in your life, Mott essentially asks, well, are you actively and freely circulating love and respect out into the world?
What you put out is what you get back.
The energy you circulate finds its way home. If you hoard, if you exploit, if your signal is tainted by actions that violate cosmic reciprocity, you're introducing blockages, noise.
And the fix isn't just visualizing more money or love.
The only lasting corrective, according to this ancient wisdom, is to restore balance by actively embodying the qualities you seek. Generosity, truth, integrity. Mott is the law that guarantees the return of that ethical energy.
It brings it all together. The Egyptian cosmos was fundamentally a moral and a spiritual system. You couldn't cheat the universe, basically.
Not in the long run.
And LOA, when you understand it through this ancient lens, it's really an invitation to live in alignment with these foundational, timeless principles.
So when we put this whole framework together, Mach's balance for the inner state, Ta's creation method of Sia and Hu, and the outer action of cosmic reciprocity, the recipe for manifestation looks, well, pretty much unchanged for millennia.
It really does. The ancient practices, Sia, Hu, Heka, they follow exactly the same path as modern visualization, affirmation, and crucially, aligned action rooted in integrity.
Thought shapes speech. Speech directs energy and order. Heka follows Hu, which follows Sia, all under the umbrella of Mott.
It gives us such a powerful, deep lineage for these ideas. And speaking of power, we kind of have to end with maybe the ultimate living example of Mott in action, the legend herself, Cleopatra.
Ah, Cleopatra, yes. Her power wasn't just military or political, was it? Sources hint it was profoundly magnetic, personal.
She was said to embody Mott's qualities, right? Poised, intentional, radiating this magnetic self-assurance.
Exactly. She seems to have masterfully managed her theater of presence, constantly reinforcing her public alignment with Mott, with divine order and queenship.
She presented herself so powerfully
that the world, including powerful Rome, almost had no choice but to mirror back the reality she projected. Her queenly reality.
She lived as if to the absolute max, didn't she? Perfectly aligned her intentions, her inner state, her outer presentation.
And that is probably the deepest takeaway here for you, listening. When you carry yourself as fully aligned with cosmic law, when your heart is light, when your actions are true life, really does seem to rearrange itself around you to reflect that inner order.
Mach is the ethical and energetic backbone of creation.
It teaches us that maybe the single most powerful manifestation tool we possess is just uncompromising integrity, living in truth.
The ancient Egyptians greeted each new day by consciously upholding Ma'at in their hearts, in their homes. It was a daily commitment to participating in universal order.
Daily practice.
So let's leave you with this final thought to mull over. How can you today perform just one small gesture of Ma'at?
Just one small thing.
An act of order, maybe tidying something meaningful. An act of truth, saying something that needs to be said. An act of generosity or reciprocity. Just one small signal to the universe that you are ready for that ultimate level of alignment.
Because sometimes it really is the smallest act of rightness that unlocks the largest flow.
There concludes our deep dive into Ma'at and what feels like the original ancient manual for manifestation. Until next time, keep exploring and keep your heart lighter than a feather.